Okay, I have to start today's deep dive with a number that, honestly, it completely broke my brain.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading through the source material from Dr. William Lai, and I got stuck on this one fact. 60,000 mile.
It is a staggering number, isn't it? It's almost hard to comprehend.
It's impossible to visualize, but apparently if you took all the blood vessels in a single human body, every single one,
Every artery, every capillary.
and you laid them end to end, they would wrap around the entire Earth twice.
And that right there just reframes how we think about the body. We tend to obsess over the celebrity organ.
Right, the heart, the brain, the liver.
Exactly. We worry about how they're performing, but we almost never think about the infrastructure that actually connects them all.
It's like worrying about the engine of your car, but completely ignoring that the roads are full of potholes.
Or that the fuel line is leaking.
Mm-hmm.
The logistics network is everything. If that 60,000-mile highway is broken, the supplies of oxygen, nutrients, they just don't get delivered.
And the waste doesn't get taken away.
That's it. And that is the core premise of what we're digging into today. We're looking at the insights of Dr. William Lai, who's a physician, a researcher, and he specializes in a field called angiogenesis.
Right, and we should probably define that immediately because it sounds like a terrifying medical condition, angiogenesis.
It does sound complex, but it's actually very simple. Angio just means blood vessel.
Okay.
And genesis means growth. So it's literally how the body grows and maintains that massive vascular highway.
And Dr. Lai's big insight is that by controlling the system with food, we can either say, cut off the blood supply to diseases like cancer or grow new vessels to heal things.
Exactly. And what I think is so refreshing about his work and what we're going to unpack is that it moves way beyond just, calorie counting.
Or the eat less, move more line we've heard a million times.
Right.
He talks about food as molecular information. It's not just fuel, it's code.
That's the key distinction. The goal here is empowerment. We're not talking about restriction, but crowding out disease and activating these hidden fat-burning systems you probably didn't even know you had.
So let's get on this highway. The 60,000-mile vascular system. Dr. Lee says it underpins everything: mood, cognition, your skin.
But it's not always a smooth drive. There are villains on this highway.
And the biggest ones are inflammation and oxidative stress.
Right. And Dr. Lee uses this very visceral image. He says inflammation essentially scrapes up the lining of your blood vessels.
That is a nasty image, like taking sandpaper to the inside of your veins.
It is, but it's accurate. And once that lining is damaged, you have 60,000 miles of potential inflammation. Things go wrong. Plaque builds up to patch the damage, and that's how you get blockages.
But luckily, we have a repair crew we can call in. And this brings us to our first food group, the greens. And we're not talking about, iceberg lettuce here.
Yeah. No, we're talking about the heavy hitters, the brassica family. So that's broccoli, kale, bok choy, Brussels sprouts.
Swiss chard, all the good stuff.
Right. And people eat these because they're told to. But the mechanism is what's so cool. These vegetables contain compounds called isothiocyanates.
I'm glad you had to say that, not me.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But the cool part is, they aren't actually active in the vegetable itself.
What do you mean?
They're inactive precursors. When you chew the broccoli or you chop it, you break the cell walls, and that mixes two chemicals together. That reaction creates the magic molecule, sulforaphane.
So the medicine is literally created in your mouth.
By chewing, exactly. And sulforaphanes do three amazing things. They lower that inflammation, they activate fat-burning genes, and they protect the vessel walls from damage.
So it's like repaving the road while you're driving on it?
In a way, yeah. And there's a second benefit, the fiber. It tumbles down to your gut and feeds the good bacteria.
And those bacteria pay rent.
They do. They produce short-chain fatty acids, which enter your bloodstream and lower inflammation everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a systemic cooling effect.
It's a double whammy of protection. But the cooking tip here is key. I went through a phase of eating plain steamed broccoli, and it was just sad. It felt like punishment.
It can be really uninspiring.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you won't eat it. That's the reality.
So Dr. Lee says to saute them with garlic and a little olive oil, and that's not just for flavor, is it?
No. Many of these nutrients are fat-soluble. Your body literally cannot absorb them without fat. The olive oil is the delivery vehicle.
Speaking of olive oil, That is the perfect transition, because if blood vessels are the highway, olive oil might be the VIP transport service.
Liquid gold.
Yeah, we hear about it all the time. But Dr. Lee drops some knowledge about it that I had never heard before, specifically about stem
This
cells.
is fascinating stuff. So we all have stem cells in our bone marrow. They're our internal regeneration system.
So when we get injured, they rush to the site to repair the damage. They're the construction crew.
Exactly. And Dr. Lee found that olive oil contains a specific polyphenol called hydroxytyrosol.
Another great Scrabble word.
They all are. But think of hydroxytyrosol as a kind of a police escort for your stem cells.
A police escort. Explain that.
Well, our blood can be a hostile environment because of oxidative stress. If the stem cells get damaged while they're traveling to an injury, healing slows down. This compound protects them. It guards them on their journey.
That is such a cool image. It's not just grease, it's a security detail. But, okay, we have to bust a myth here. I've heard so many people say, don't cook with olive oil, it has a low smoke point.
Dr. Lai is very direct about this. He calls that idea bunk.
Bunk.
Total bunk. The smoke point of extra virgin olive oil is around 350 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is similar to canola oil. It's perfectly safe for sautéing, for roasting.
So normal home cooking is fine.
Absolutely fine. People in the Mediterranean have been doing it for centuries, and they have some of the lowest rates of heart disease in the world. The data just isn't there.
Okay, so how much? Are we talking a drizzle or?
There, the sweet spot in the studies seems to be about 3 to 4 tablespoons per day.
Got it. Now, the practical part. The oil aisle is overwhelming. There are 50 different bottles. How do we get the good stuff?
You want to look for one word: monovarietal.
Monovarietal, what does that mean?
It means the oil is made from a single type of olive, not a cheap blend. And he specifically recommends 3 varieties that are highest in those medicinal polyphenols.
Okay, this is the shopping list part.
If it's Spanish oil, look for Picual olives, Picual.
The cool. Okay.
If it's Greek, look for Koronanki. And if it's Italian, Moriolo. These consistently test the highest for those protective compounds.
You're getting the most medicinal bang for your buck.
Exactly. And of course, if you really want the polyphenols, just eat the whole olive. You get the fiber too.
The whole package. Okay, so we've paved the highway with greens. We've got our police escort with olive oil. Now let's talk about the fat parked on the side of the road.
Yes. The huge distinction between white fat and brown fat.
I always just thought fat was, well, stuff I'm trying to lose.
That's what we think of, the white fat. Dr. Lee calls it lumpy, bumpy, wiggly, jiggly. It's a storage tank.
Right. But then there's brown fat. I've heard this term thrown around, usually involving people sitting in ice baths.
Brown fat is completely different. It's thin, like a sheet, and it sits close to the bone around the neck, sternum, shoulder blades.
And why is it brown?
This is my favorite analogy. You know mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell?
High school biology, yep.
Dr. Gao calls them the mitochondria. Brown fat is packed with them, and mitochondria contain iron.
And iron rusts. It turns reddish-brown.
Exactly. The fat is brown because it's so dense with these iron-rich engines. And its job isn't to store energy, it's to burn it.
It's a space heater.
It is. It evolved for hibernation. When it gets triggered, usually by cold, it turns on to generate heat. And here's the kicker. Where does it get the fuel to generate that heat?
It steals it from the white fat.
It literally burns the bad fat to create body heat. It's a built-in furnace.
That is wild. But I hate being cold. You're saying we can eat our way to activating this, no shivering required.
Yes, that's thermogenesis through food. Certain foods flip the switch on that heater. For beverages, green tea, specifically the EGCG in coffee, thanks to its chlorogenic acid.
So my morning coffee is a fat-burning signal. I love that. But there was a whole grocery list of foods, too.
A surprising list. Tomatoes, for one. The lycopene helps burn visceral fat. Onions, too.
But with onions, there was a specific warning.
Right. Don't peel them too much. The quercetin, the good stuff, is mostly in the outer layers. If you peel it until it's perfectly white, you've thrown away the medicine.
Note to self, ugly onions are better. What else?
White beans. There was a study with canned beans, 5 days a week, shrank waistlines by an inch.
Wait, canned beans?
Just regular canned beans. It shows you don't need fancy superfoods. Also ripe strawberries, carrots, and seafood for the omega-3s. And it doesn't have to be expensive salmon.
He mentioned clams, mussels, shrimp, even cod.
Right. It's about viewing your grocery cart as a toolkit to turn on your own internal heater.
Okay, let's go deeper. We've talked about protecting the highway, burning the cargo. Now let's talk about rebuilding the car. Regeneration. Stem cells again.
This is really the frontier. The idea that we can boost our body's ability to regenerate itself from the inside out.
And this brings me to the best news of the entire deep dive: chocolate.
I had a feeling you'd like this one.
I mean, come on. A study where people drank hot chocolate and got healthier. Explain this to me.
It was a fascinating study. Patients with coronary artery disease drank 2 cups of hot chocolate a day for 30 days. But, and this is a massive but, it had to be high flavanol chocolate. We're talking 80% cacao or higher.
So not the sugary powder with the mini marshmallows.
Definitely not. This is the bitter, dark stuff. But the result? Their circulating stem cells doubled, and their blood vessel flexibility improved twofold.
Wow. Just from high-quality chocolate. That implies food can mobilize our repair crews as effectively as some drugs.
It shows the potency of these compounds. And it's not just chocolate. Dr. Lai also talked about fruit peels, the ursolic acid in them.
Right, in apples, pears, blueberries, but who wants to just eat a peel?
Exactly. So his tip was dried fruit, like dried apricots. You consume the skin easily because the water's removed.
Smart. And he had a tip for mushrooms that I am definitely guilty of ignoring.
Don't throw away the stems. The stem of the mushroom often has twice as much beta-glucan, which is a powerhouse for immune health.
I feel like I've been cooking wrong my whole life. Peeling the onions, throwing away the stems. I'm literally composting the health benefits.
It's a common modern trap. We prioritize convenience over nutrition.
Which brings us to the car fuel mindset Dr. Lee talks about. He compares our metabolism to a laptop operating system.
Right, we're all born with the same hard wiring.
Mm.
But how we treat the machine determines how it runs. And the biggest problem is we don't have a clicker.
A clicker, like at a gas pump.
Exactly. The pump clicks off when the tank is full. You can't overfill it. Our bodies don't have that. We can keep filling the tank.
Yeah.
And overloading the engine with too many calories breaks the machine, no matter how good the fuel is.
So even if I'm eating 5,000 calories of organic salmon and broccoli, I'm still breaking the engine.
Exactly. Overconsumption derails the whole system. Quality matters, but quantity provides the context.
And speaking of quality, soda. The classic example of anti-fuel.
It started as a treat, a delight. Now it's a chemical cocktail that people drink like water.
And the diet versions, with artificial sweeteners, can be tricky too.
It's nuanced. Stevia and monk fruit are generally better natural options. But the chemical sweeteners, aspartame, sucralose, can disrupt the gut microbiome. And if you disrupt the gut, you disrupt your inflammation control.
His rule of thumb is so simple. If you can't pronounce the ingredients or you don't recognize them as food, just put it back.
It sounds basic, but in our world of ultra-processed food, it's a radical act.
And we also touched on something that I think is getting lost today. Self-knowledge.
Yes. We are drowning in information. Eat this, don't eat that. He urges us to just look inward. How do you actually feel after you eat something?
Right. If tomatoes give you reflux, it doesn't matter that they activate brown fat. Don't eat them.
Exactly. There's always a swap. The goal is to tune back into your own biology, not follow a rigid spreadsheet from someone else.
So as we wrap up, I want to hit on the philosophy here.
Yeah.
Because most health advice feels like a list of don'ts. It feels like punishment.
Dr. Lee flips that completely. His philosophy is crowding out. It's not about guilt or restriction. It's about adding so much good stuff that there just isn't room for the bad.
That makes so much sense. If I fill up on sautéed greens and good seafood, I'm probably not craving a donut an hour later.
Exactly. And he has a really practical way to start this. He calls it the Sharpie method.
The Sharpie method. I love this.
He says to take a list of healthy foods, you can find them anywhere, and get a Sharpie. And just circle the ones you already love.
Just the ones you like.
Yes. Maybe you love strawberries and salmon and cashews. Great. Start there. Build your diet around what you already enjoy. Don't force yourself to eat something you hate.
It makes it sustainable. It's a menu, not a punishment.
And it changes the mindset from deprivation to investment.
That's the final thought I want to leave everyone with. He made this comparison to financial wealth.
Yeah. We spend our lives trying to build financial wealth for retirement.
Yeah.
We invest, we save. But why don't we view every meal as an investment in our biological wealth?
That hits home. We treat our 401k lower than our arteries.
You can live to be 150. But if your brain is foggy and your vessels are clogged, what's the point? The choices you make in the grocery aisle today, those are the dividends you're going to cash in 10, 20, 30 years from now.
So next time you're looking at that dark chocolate or those ugly onions, just remember, you're not just buying dinner. You're making a deposit.
And paving the highway.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
Stay curious.